Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam, shehakol niv'barei.
L'chaim.
Welcome, folks. L'chaim, l'chaim, v'bracha. Let the vida in. So we continue with our discourse, our mimer. So speak about the holiday season is a time of unity of the Jewish people. In order to create the unity of all the different types of Jews that there are, this is through tshuva, we explained. Because unity is to be able to see commonality, connection in the diverse. And tshuva is something that is beyond any division, even when it comes to time. What does that mean? So when Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses received the Torah, there was a preparation of the people 50 days. There was his 40 days on the mountain for the first set of tablets. There's a lot of preparation. For wisdom, you need lots of preparation. For divine intelligence, there's a lot to prepare. However, when it comes to tshuva, meaning to do the right thing, to return to Hashem, that can be done in a split moment. See the second set of tablets, right? Moshe Rabbeinu was there for 40 days to get God to be accepting of the Jewish people. But the tshuva is in a moment. What does that mean? Well, it's beyond time in a sense. Time here meaning, you got to prepare for something. Tshuva means to return to such a place inside of you, in such a deep place inside of you, that you don't need preparation. You just have to touch that place. To recognize the truth and to go in that path of the truth, you don't need lots of preparation. You don't need to go to therapy. No. You just need to be honest, find inside of you the depth of your soul. And depth of your soul, there's a oneness there, right? That it's beyond right, beyond any division. So when you touch the depth of your soul, the oneness of your soul, so then in a one moment you can do tshuva. And in that one moment of tshuva, it becomes in the vehicle that there can be unity. There isn't any divisiveness between fellow Jews. Very powerful. Wow. So, so unity comes from me touching that place that's inside of me, that's unified, that's oneness. And therefore, in time, I'm able to rise beyond time, so to speak. In other words, I don't need prep. The nature of this world is everything you have to prep for, right? To we're learning something. So, I'm having some coffee for prep. Woke up early, you know. So, you prep everything is prep for something, right? You have a meeting, you need to prepare for it. You have a class to teach, you prepare for it, right? You have uh, whatever it is, Torah to learn. You got to be in the right. But when it comes to tshuva, repentance, that's how we translate it. But returning to the depths of your inner being, you don't need prep for it. You just, because it's there already, you hmm, just have to get there, yes. But that's what tshuva return means, returning to the depths of your soul, that in there is no division, and therefore you're able then to live with others without division. Though there are others, all types of others, heads of the tribes, water carriers, wood choppers, right? As the verse says in Parshas Nitzavim, Atim Nitzavim, that you stand, all of you, and then the verse continues of all the different types of Jews that there are. And the term over here is that you're standing, but standing, not regular standing. You're standing like a king. Hmm. What's a king? What's a king? King is Balabas. He's the master. He's in control, right, um, of his country. So we, through this, hmm, through this unity, we become masters of everything in the material world. We become masters of everything in the material world. Beginning then with being written and sealed for a good year, a sweet year, and all revealed goodness in a literal sense down here, yeah, including material things. In other words, when we have the true tshuva that brings to a unity, it brings also to a mastery in such a way that we're going to have a good year, not just spiritually, but materially too. Because ultimately, when you're touching this place where there's no divide inside of you, right? No divide. You know, we live in a world where we are divided. I don't mean that we're divided on the inside, and that's why it's expressed a division on the outside, right? We haven't done tshuva to touch the core of our neshama, where there is no division. So therefore, we live with division. We live in division that there's this part of me, that part of me. There's a part of me that comes to learn Torah. There's a part of me that goes to work. There's a part of me that, is good and making an effort, and part of me that's lazy. There's a part of me that, wants to connect to God, and a part of me just wants to, live life on my terms. Tshuva means touching that deeper part where there is no division, and that then reflects that there is no division in the way we deal with people. No matter, they're important, so-called important worldly people or just, simple people. And there's no difference in how we deal with material or spiritual because there's a oneness there. And as a result, we are masters of either material and spiritual in our lives, and not just in our lives, but in 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 creation itself. We're in control of creation. It's pretty heavy. Chaim, Chaim, Chaim. Wow. So through tshuva means returning to the core of who we are. There is no division. This then is what the medrash that we brought down at the very beginning, that the children came, many daughters of the king came on one day to visit the king, see the welfare of the king, their father. And they came one day, and the king said, "Oh, you came for one day, let's make another day that's special also, one day." All right. So what's that one day? It's Yom Kippur. As Yom Kippur is called Achaz V'Shana, the one day of the year, right? The one day of the year. And it's not just the one day of the year, it's the one place in the year, the Holy of Holies. It's the one individual, right? The high priest does the divine service uniquely on that day. So from that day, then is drawn, right? That's in the metaphor. The daughters that refer to the souls of the Jewish people come to visit God on Yom Kippur for God's welfare. Most people come for Yom Kippur for their own welfare, I want to have a good year. L'chaim, l'chaim. Come, because what's Yom Kippur Tshuva? To repair the relationship. So we're coming for the king because we want to have that relationship. So we're coming on that one day. Then the king says, "You're here. Let's make another day." Right? One day. And what's that one day? Simchas Torah. It's also one day. That's what he says. Powerful. So So what we're doing over here is like this. We have to take that oneness, right? That's what right? And we have to bring it into a place where there is division. And that's what we said before. Tshuva is tshuva that brings you to be able from all the different types, the four types of Jews, like the four species, to bring a oneness. So ultimately, this oneness, we needed to, that's beyond division, we have to draw it into a place where there is division. So we take the oneness that came from Yom Kippur, and we have to now draw that in when it comes to the holiday of Sukkot by sitting in a sukkah, doing the Lulav and Esrog, four species, and dancing with our feet. In other words, and all of that should express, that oneness of the neshama, of our soul. And that comes after the fact that Rosh Hashanah is that we are standing all together. And then there's 10 different levels that are mentioned, right? In other words, the togetherness has to now, the oneness has to be brought into the distinction, right? The different types of 10 different types of Jews. And that the oneness should be recognized in the distinction. In other words, oneness should not just be, there's no distinction. No, it should be recognized in the distinction. Like the soul, which then brings us to Yom Kippur, which is the oneness of the soul. That brings to Simchas Torah also the oneness that we experience there. Should then brought into division. What's a division? Where we are now. The holiday season's over. Everybody's, back in their routine. Everybody is doing their thing. So throughout the year, there's things that we do. It should be recognizable that Yom Kippur, we came from Yom Kippur. We came from Simchas Torah. And the effect of it is still within us, that it creates in the diversity, divergence, in the multiplicity of life. It's still recognizable, the oneness throughout the year. Even though, it was a week ago, tonight was Shmini Atzeres, right? And Yom Kippur is, almost 3 weeks ago. Yet the the awakening in our soul is still there from it. It's still holding strong within us. Why? Because, as we explained, oneness means beyond time and space. So it's not limited to, okay, Yom Kippur, it's gone. Simchas Torah, it's gone. Next. No, it's not a next. It's still there and part of me. As God, it said about him, the God doesn't change. Well, also, this godly part in us also doesn't change. And therefore, we can derive an inspiration from it, an awakening from it, even, through now the winter, basically, right? Now this lives on within us. That's pretty powerful. That's very powerful. Uh, you know, be quite honest, I don't know if can I say that that's really my reality? It'd be nice, but I guess the message over here is, don't make what we experience something of the past and now you're moving on. Take it with you and let it, vibrate and within